Hey, I am pumped to be here with you guys tonight. I'm trying to see what time you guys are on. I got some requests to go live a little bit later. I got some other requests to go live a little bit earlier. So just playing with our time, seeing when everybody's online. What's up, Monique? So yeah, I'm pumped to touch base with you guys because so many people wanted to hear about this topic, and I was thinking it's great because that means you guys are thinking one step ahead, and that's exactly what we want to be doing as entrepreneurs, always sort of working a little bit ahead. Hey Rosie, what's up, girl? So keeping your team inspired and my top tips, that's what we're going to cover tonight. And I have a ton of great notes and a ton of awesome information. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes. Hi, Michelle. Give everybody a few minutes to hop on. I know how Facebook, you guys know their crazy algorithms. Right now they're pinging everybody saying Morgan's live, Morgan's live, Morgan's live, Morgan's live. So I'm going to give everybody a few minutes. Sometimes I wish you guys could just come over to my house because we just got home from family dinner, and the beauty is that family dinner my parents hosted and they live right next door. But I mean, we were I slid into home base, into this chair right now, Walt's upstairs, putting the kids down. I mean, I feel like my life is just as crazy a life as you guys. So I just never want to have you guys think that I just sit down and have it all together, because I mean, he was like, come on, everybody upstairs, mommy has to do a video, let's go. So it's never put together. Don't let me ever fool you. It's shenanigans. Okay, so let's just dig right in, because this is one of those topics that I think is timeless. And I feel like we can all get better at keeping our teams inspired, keeping our business inspired, keeping our life inspired, right? It's just so important to have inspiration just surrounding you, either as a leader, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a manager, as somebody who wants to own their own business. So in whatever capacity you're here, just soaking up this amazing community, I hope that some of this message resonates with you. Okay, so when I think about all of the wonderful ways that I've been able to inspire and lead, thousands of people, what does that look like? And why did that work? Why does it work? And so I wanted to break it down into my top 10 tips. So here we go. I'm just going to dig right in. And if you guys are team leaders, take out your notebook and please take some notes. If you have some leaders underneath you that are up and coming team leaders, share this video. I think this is the kind of knowledge that somebody who just started a business should have, and somebody who has a team of 30,000 people should have. I just think being inspired and being the inspirer is so important. So let's dive right in. Okay, so be in front of them often. I think in the grand scheme of things, when you put yourself in front of your team, your community, your customers often, remind yourself sometimes it takes 7 times for somebody to connect you with your brand, your product, your business, whatever it is you're doing. Sometimes it takes 7 times of people to hear it. So I think about when I started with Jamberry, I still to this day have people say to me, are you still with Jamberry? And it's sort of laughable because I'm like, what? Yes. And I just think, wow, it's because I haven't been putting myself out there as much. So just remind yourself that if you're doing something or starting a new business, even your family members and your good girlfriends, you might have to remind them that you're doing this thing 3 to 4 to 5 times. And a stranger, you might have to have a soft touch 7 times. So think about your team. It's the same with leadership and keeping them inspired. Don't think if you do one video every 3 months, they're going to say, oh, I feel so inspired by this person. I really think that consistency, continuity, and being in front of them often is the best thing you can do to continually influence and inspire. The other thing I think, the next tip I think, is sharing what works for you. And this can run, in so many different ways. So you can share with your team, here's what works for me when I sell blah, blah, blah. Here's what works for me when I get a new client. Here's how I blah, blah, blah. So however it works for you, if you're leading a team and you want to continue to inspire them, make sure you're always sharing what works for you. And the other thing I love to do is buddy up with somebody in your field of work. So let's say you want to, I love using Susie Mojak because she was on the video the other night and she was saying how she wants to grow a team for her salon. So what I would suggest for Susie is to find a salon owner who already has built an amazing team with low turnover and just say, can I take you out to coffee and just pick your brain? Or can I throw these free products your way and pick your brain, right? Because at the end of the day, the information that you're gonna garner from somebody who's already been where you are, that's huge. So I just feel like share what's working for you and find out what has worked for somebody else. And there's so many wonderful ways, again, that you can do that. You can offer free product for their time. You can, just think of all the ways that you can bless their life, because sitting down with this person that has already been through the trenches of business and they're going to give you so many wonderful tips. Just say to them, here's what I can offer you. And don't just go into it thinking me, give me, because that's just an awful way to do business. And although you're not doing business with them, this is a person that in a way could totally form your business into super profitable. So again, that's what I would do. I would absolutely share what's working for you as a team leader, and then talk to somebody in the same industry that's probably not your direct competitor, who has traveled through the same decisions as you, and just pick their brain. Okay, so another tip, do you guys like that one? I love that one too. I need to do that one too. I was thinking, do I know anybody that has created a platform like this and started engaging with a bigger community just to share their passion and their message? So if you guys know anybody who is doing something similar, you guys know sort of my quadrants are business and finance, parenting, traveling, freedom, flexibility, and then of course direct sales, multi-level marketing, anyway, and healthy. I love talking about health, so I don't really know which way is up, but I just love it all, so I just share. Okay, so the next tip I have for you is to ask questions and be curious. I think it's so important that you go into inspiring your team by being curious, okay? You're not going to know how to inspire them, especially your leaders. Know their love language. Have them take the love language quiz. Have them take Myers-Briggs and find out what their personality is. Just knowing them better and asking questions and getting curious about them as individuals is going to really help you understand what inspires them, because you wouldn't want to give somebody who their love language is let's say it's gifts, and you're sitting here doing all these coaching calls thinking that it's quality time, right? And they're sort of I don't really need your time, but I do need a gift every now and then, right? So think about that and how much, and inspiring them and just getting them to think bigger, better, and bolder. If you're not loving them the way they want to be loved, they might not even be that inspired. Okay. So ask questions and be curious. So one of the things that I think is so important for those of you guys that do coaching calls and training calls and connection calls, I love calling them connection calls, because in a way, sometimes when I'm oh, you want to book a coaching call with me? I just have to laugh, because I think I don't have any coaching. I've never been taken a course on coaching. I have no idea why they're called that. So connection calls is a great way if you're a team leader, and ask them what is working in your business. What is working? What is working? What is working? Because that right there allows you to start the conversation and hear what is sort of rocking for them. And that way the whole conversation doesn't wrap around like what is not working. So when you know what's working, you know like which avenue to take to inspire them to be bigger. So if they're like, yes, events are working for me, but in-home parties aren't. Yes, going to pass out flyers is really working for me, but booking lunch dates and one-on-ones are not, so you can just gauge sort of what's working. I think it's important that people's 30-day goals. And I'm not saying everybody, I am just saying maybe your own team leaders know their 30-day goals, know their like yearly goal, know their 5-year plan, right? Because when you know these things, you just have such a way of connecting with them. So my example would be when you know that their 30-day goal is to earn $300, guess what you get to do like every 4 or 5 days? Where are you? Where are you with your sales? Are you going to earn your $300? I know you are. I'm over here cheering you on. Okay. So, and that's another question that I love to ask, like, what do you want to earn through your business? What does that look like to you? What type of earning potential is like the one that you keep landing on? Is it $250 a month? Is it an extra $1,000 a month? Do you want to quit your full-time job and make $2,000 a month? What does your partner say? If they're married, just say, have you and your husband talked about the earning potential, and like what does that look like for him or her? So I think it's really important to talk about what they want to earn, and then talk about what do they love about their business. Like, what have you loved so far since you've created your business, or your business has been born? I just think these are such huge questions that they're like heart openers, right? We always talk about heart openers in yoga class. Like, I feel like my girl Amanda Stedman's like, today we're going to open our heart. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love heart openers. So in a way, these are sort of like heart openers for your business. So get curious and ask these questions. It's so important. Okay, so my next tip is team culture and what your team is known for. So I think that this is one of the things to be like an inspirational leader. I think it's so fun to have team culture. And one of my leaders is such a genius with this. Sonia Kristoff kills it with team culture. She just has nailed it and branded them and is always giving them tidbits of like, this is what we are as a team, and I'm so proud of you guys because this is what we do as a team. And I just think it's so important for team culture for you to instill like those values in a way in your team. So make sure you are always reminding them what the team is known for. I mean, I know on my team page, I'm always saying, you know what? We are solution-driven, positive team. We're always looking for solutions. We're not negative Nellies. We're not going to vent. We're not going to complain. Solution-driven, positive team. And we're always connecting and communicating and collaborating. I think those are really important too. So they very much know like our team culture and reminded of them often. Okay, the other thing I think for keeping your team inspired is just reminding people of what they are before they're even like having it on their radar. So if you just know that somebody can be an amazing leader and you really believe that they can build a bigger team or inspire more people, tell them that. If you really see somebody as capable of earning more in their business, tell them that. If you really look at somebody and you think you could be in a management role, like in my business, 100% I could see you like managing my salon, managing my doctor's office, managing my dental firm, like whatever it looks like. If you tell them what they are before they're there, in a way you're grooming them to greatness. And I think that's so important, telling people what they are before they even have it on their viewfinder, right? They don't even realize that they have that potential. So I just think it's important to tell people, like if you even have any thought about them being bigger, better, and bolder than they are right now, tell them that you believe that they can be. Okay, and then I feel like knowing people's financial goals are huge. And this is both their financial goal with the business, and this is also their financial goal, how the money they're making is going to impact their life. So think about things like paying off debt, getting a new car, buying a swimming pool, paying for kids' activities, taking their family on a trip, Like my goal was a date night once a month, right? My financial goal with my business when I started was paying for a date night, a sitter and dinner and fun out. You need to know their financial goals as a leader that inspires, and you need to like write them down so that when you get on one of those connecting calls, or when you get on a coaching call, or when you sit down face to face with them and have coffee, that's on the forefront of your mind. You know their financial goal and like what they want to do with the amount of money they're making, and just what they want to do in general with like their finances, you know? So I just think that that's really important. Okay. The other tip I have is that sometimes I think, especially women in business, we tend to dream really small. And I just want to break that mold and that stereotype. I had the best call today with my, I call her my chaos coordinator, but you guys would think of her as an assistant. So I had a call today with Meredith, and we were just dreaming big, right? I mean, we were just throwing it out there. Like, what does Morgan Cullen as a brand look like going forward? And I think we both had chills like 12 times in our hour-long conversation. So we were just dreaming big. We were throwing out ideas. We were talking about going forward. And of course, I'm so excited just to unveil all of this. It's like an onion, and just to slowly peel off the layers with you guys. But here's what I'm telling you. Dreaming big. Like, I dream big all the time with my Jamberry organization. I mean, I threw the goal out there that I wanted November to be $1 million month, and I was dreaming big. But you know what? We didn't do it, but you know what? Gosh darn it, we dreamed big about it. And everybody was like, where are we? Where are we? Give us the update. What's the update? And it was so fun to just like challenge each other and relate together and dream big as a team and as a group of people. So if you are a leader, or if you are a manager in any capacity, I just really want you to like have people open up their hearts to dream bigger. Like, what does this business look like to you? Especially like your junior leaders, your assistant managers. You know, what does this team look like to you? What does this next year look like to you? How can I facilitate bigger growth like for you as a large part of my team? So make sure everybody's dreaming big together. And I am going to offer you guys a free webinar to learn how to be just like a visionary and to figure out like, what is your vision? What are your goals? And we are going to all power through that together and like facilitate this amazing like growth in mindset of what does our 2018 look like for everybody, both personally, in your health, in your marriage, in your relationships, in your business, in your parenthood journey. We're just going to dream big. So I love doing that kind of stuff. Okay. My next tip is ask them, and then always share yours as well. You know, like if you had a magic wand in your business right now and you could just like poof, make something happen, what would that look like? If you could poof, take something away, what would that look like? So give them the magic wand for a hot second and just let them go. And let them share, and let them be honest, and let them be real, and let them be unfiltered. Because I think it's so important that, again, like you just hear their hearts and what they want. So also, I think my next tip was making sure that you remind people to toot their own horn. Because you know what? The beauty of life is when you stop caring what people think, you realize anyway that everybody's too busy, and what you thought they were thinking is not at all what they were thinking, because really they're so busy concentrating on their own like life that you're not even on their radar. But you're sitting here thinking like, did she just like not like my post because she thinks I'm annoying? Oh no, like I don't want to post it again because I swear that's why she didn't like it. I know that she saw it, but she didn't even like it, and now she thinks I'm annoying. Right? Like we all have those stupid inner like dialogues. So what I want you to do is remind people, because people are always up in their own brain and they're forgetting to even like rationally remember the amazing successful things they've done in their business. So you as a team leader, when you remind people to toot their own horn, it's huge. So we toot our own horn once a week, like on my team page. And whenever, I just love it. Like it's something that I celebrate, because you know what? Like as a huge leader, I cannot be all up in people's numbers and successes and everything. So as a big leader, when they can toot their own horn and then I just get to celebrate with them, not only does it make my job easier, but they get to share exactly what they did. Because you know what, if they would PM me and say, I just want you to know that I did this, and I went and shouted it out, I probably wouldn't totally encompass exactly what they did correctly. Like, I might be like, yay, so-and-so did this amazing event, I'm so proud of her. And she might be like, well, I actually did the event and I did right? So this is why I really try to empower people to toot their own horn. And through that, I've learned that when somebody says to me, so I really am close to doing blah, 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 like earning $1,000 total. I'm really close to promoting. I'm really close to having a team of 500 people. Whatever the goal is that they share with me, and, you know, in like a private PM, I always say to them, make sure to write me back the second it happens so that we can celebrate together. Okay. And again, that's empowering them. That's not putting it on my plate. That's not making me sit there and like look at the numbers to see when it happens. It's empowering them to come back to me so that we can celebrate together. So as you know, an inspirational leader, or like making sure that people feel inspired, I think that's really important, because then you get to celebrate people all the time, but you're really like making sure that they're in charge of their own destiny and they're in charge of their own journey. Okay, so the other tip I have is just to be like, put your pom-poms, like basically make your hands pom-poms and put on your cheerleading outfit, because seriously, it's so awesome what some hardcore cheerleading can do as an inspirational leader and as somebody who just wants people to be satisfied, you know, in their job, in their career, in their management level, in the company that you run, whatever it is. Just like, praise goes so far. I mean, you guys, can I just tell you a story? And this is taking it super simple and using my daughter Clover as an example. But we knew that she could potty train and she just would not do it. And we just kept focusing on her accidents. And I remember when she was potty trained for a hot second, and then she started like going backwards, and we just kept saying, why baby, why are you going in your pants? And you're such our big girl now. And so all of a sudden I just had this thought, I'm just going to praise her for like anytime she goes poop on the potty. It was mainly just going number 2. She was fine with going number 1. And I just said, this is it. Like, we're just going to make a little chart, and it doesn't matter if she poops her underwear like 3 times and then goes once and then poops it 3 more times, like that once, like we are going to be like gangbusters for that. And that's what we did. Do you guys know? I don't even remember the last time she did it. So, and I know that every child is different, but what I'm saying is like, praise works. Like, praise is huge, and affirmations and just support and encouragement. So just be a cheerleader. Like, if you're a team leader, you can never over encourage, over shout out, over congratulate, over thank your organization. So make sure that you're like the recognition, like rah-rah committee. Okay. And I can't believe I just used poopy pants for that. But I think praise is huge. And I think that we get too busy and you start looking at your business or your organization, you look at it as a well-oiled machine, and that's when you don't ever want to get comfortable and back off of praise. Like, that should be your first job as a team leader. Okay. So one of the things that I personally love to do is whenever I have what I call like Facebook flex time, it's kind of Facebook, kind of Pinterest, but it's my flex time. It's like when Walt's watching a shoot 'em up movie at night, I will get on Pinterest and just look up inspirational quotes. So just anything that I love that inspires me for business and greatness and just inner dialogue to be like positive and motivating and uplifting. So I'll just pin a bunch of quotes and I will just slowly trickle those out in my organization. And I just think that that's really great too, to keep people inspired, keep them motivated. Like there might be some quotes that these 10 people love, and then this quote that these 3 people love, and then this quote that these 5 people love. So it's so interesting to me that quotes, of course, don't resonate with everybody. And different people are drawn to different quotes and are having like a moment in their life where that quote speaks to them. I just think it's so amazing when somebody in my organization says, oh my gosh, the quote that you shared was awesome. It just is exactly what I needed to hear. So I think that's important for inspiring. The other thing I was going to say is making sure that you as a business owner, can you pull reports and really, when you have a chance to have a connecting call or a coaching call or a coffee date, you know, whatever it looks like for your employees, your business partners, your organization, make sure that you know some figures. Because I think to keep somebody inspired, they have to know that they matter. And one of the biggest ways I've been able to really just make sure that people know that they matter is by knowing, honestly, their stats. What are they doing? What have they done? I mean, I just sat down and wrote Christmas cards to my biggest leaders. And in those cards, I got to put some of their stats. And it was an amazing reminder for me that made my eyes water, because what a blessing those 10 are in my life. But I know it was also a great reminder for them when they open up that card and they see like that I took the time to pull their stats and look at their records and see like what they've done in 2017. So I think it's important to know numbers, because then it's inspiring, right? I mean, I think about when I played soccer in college and people would know just my stats from soccer stuff. Like when I would go have a meeting with my coach and she would just be like, okay, so this, and this, and this, and this, we need to work on this, and this looks good. And I was like, wow, she just knows all my stats. And that is a great leader, coach, mentor, manager. Okay, so the other thing I was going to say is that one of the things I think that is hard to do as a leader, but I think it is one of the most important, is to lead by example. I don't think that you can sit there and tell your team to do something that you are not willing to do or have done before. So that to me is one of the most inspiring things, when teams see their leaders doing things that they're asking their team to do. So I think about Walt and how, he's run these massive teams, right? These huge construction teams. And I just feel so amazed by the fact that every time you guys, I would meet anyone on his team, they would just say what a great guy he is. And somehow it would come out that he was always willing to get down and get dirty with the guys, like get in the hole with them, get in the tunnel with them, get on the job site with them, put on his boots, put on his hard hats, get the shovel. Like he was not the guy that was like, you do this and you do this and I'm gonna go put on my fancy shoes and sit in my office and drink coffee. No, he was the guy that would like come back from the field dirtier than the workers. And that's why he was such a motivating, inspiring, and relatable leader to these massive teams of these construction men, because he wasn't afraid to do what he was asking them to do. And I think that's true for any business. So don't just sit there and ask people to do something that you are not willing to do. Like lead by example. And then if you have any leaders that are leading by example, like I know whenever I have some of my big leaders and they're killing it in sales early on, you better believe that I go to their team page. Like they all run their own little team pages on Facebook and they have their own little group. So I will go on their page and I will say, oh my gosh, like what's an example? Oh, like my girl Lauren Giles, her sales are ridiculous already this month. And I think I went on her team page and I was like, girl, you crazy. And I just, in front of her whole team, I just said, how awesome is this lady? Like she is y'all's team leader and she is such a great leader, but here she is killing it in sales. So also if you have like these junior leaders, these assistant managers, these people in your business that are rocking it and they are leaders of people, then make sure that you celebrate them in front of their own people, because that is just validating them in front of who they need to be validated and who they're inspiring. So I think that's really important. The other thing I was going to say is just to inspire like small groups, because sometimes, you know, your message might not be the same to like a senior level leader that it is to like somebody new in your business organization. So when you're looking at sort of just all of it as a whole, your message might not be like correct for everybody. So maybe then you can take like those new business partners and coach them and lead them and inspire them about this message. Maybe you can take these senior leaders and inspire them about this message. So I think it's important that if you're running an organization, you know, you're managing a lot of people, that you have ways to break those down by sort of skills and where they are in their business, like just where they are in their business. Are they high up leadership? Then you're going to be delivering a different inspirational message to them than you would be a brand new person in your workforce or in your organization. And some of the ways that I love to just lead by groups and collect people into smaller groups is doing a Zoom call or using freeconferencecall.com. So both are awesome and free and incredible for collecting people and sharing a message with a smaller group. Okay, and then I only have my last tip, you guys, which is have your own leaders share more, because sometimes you, as your own independent individual leader, you have a message, right? Sometimes it is so incredible for you to have other people come in and share their message and share like what inspires them and what keeps them going and how they're doing in their business and what was working for them. And so I think it's so important to remind yourself that you don't have to do the job of everybody. Sometimes you just have to delegate and find people that have a message that will resonate with your listeners and your organization and your team. So that's all I have about keeping your team inspired for tonight. I'm gonna go sign off and have a little bit of couch time with my man and get a good night's sleep, because mama certainly needs her good night's sleep with these 4 little babies. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Feel free to ask questions below. Feel free to share this. That is one of the best things you guys can do right now, is share any of my videos, share any of my posts. Make sure that you're signed up on morgancullen.com for, you know, we're gonna start doing a countdown for when the website goes live. So just thank you for your support, and I just love connecting with you guys. So I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.